Okay, thank you so much, my viewer, and welcome once again to this channel. I am very, very grateful for the support that you have given me by watching this channel, by liking the channel, by subscribing the channel, and even sharing amongst your friends. So I welcome you to this small episode where we want to discuss something that has become very, very popular among people. Maybe even you have been talking about it, and that is the word stress. When you talk to most people nowadays, you will hear them mentioning the word stress. So I want us to discuss and know what is this stress. Now, by definition, stress is a natural body reaction that happens when you realize you are not in a position to meet specific demands of life, or when you realize you are not in a position to face some events that are happening in your life. So that is how we define stress. It is the situation when it is the reaction that occurs when you feel that you are not in a position to meet specific demands that are coming to your life, or you are not in a position to face the events that are taking place in your life. Now, what are some of the events that cause stress in your life or in our lives? They are normally called stressors. I want to highlight a few of them because they are very, very many and they are also general. Number one, there is what we call lack of money. Now, lack of money, it occurs when you realize that the money available to you for your use is less than the expenses that you have to meet. And this has become a major source of stress to most of us. Number two is lack of time. Now, this happens when you have a lot in your in tray, but time is not available. So you realize that you are always running behind. You are spreading yourself too thin because you have very many things that you require to do. And this becomes a major source of stress. Number three is about relationships. Now, when we talk about relationships, this is a very wide area and it could capture even family, the family of origin. You realize that you have issues with your parents, you have issues with your siblings, you have issues with your spouse, you have issues with your children. Those are major sources of stress. Number four, we have issues to do with job. You realize that maybe at the workplace, the demands are so high, you are not able to satisfy. You realize that maybe even the working environment, the conditions are not good, and they become a major source of stress. Even the relationships at the workplace, they become a major source of stress. Number five, it is uncertainty. Uncertainty is a feeling that you are not very sure of what will be the actual outcome of something that you are waiting for, which is significant to you. For example, you have attended a job interview and you are waiting for the outcome, you are not very sure, or maybe you have placed a tender, you are waiting, you are not very sure of the outcome. Those uncertainties, they cause a lot of stress in our lives. Those are some of the stressors that we normally encounter, but as I had said, my viewer, there are very many that we can continue discussing. But at this point, allow me to mention to you that we have two types of stress. One is called acute stress. Now, acute stress is stress that is brought to us by things that are new in our life and things whose solutions can be perceived in the short term. So acute stress is short term. It is brought about by things that are new, and these things, their solutions can be foreseen. And it could also be things that have recently happened. For example, maybe of late, you have had an argument with a person and the argument did not go down well with you. And when you think about it, it is becoming a major source of stress. Or maybe you have to do with a deadline. There is an upcoming deadline that you have to meet, and it is giving you some pressure because you're not very sure of how you manipulate. But as we have said, acute stress is short term. It is something that you can manage. Number two, it is called chronic stress. Now, chronic, it is when stress has become long term. And we say someone has acquired chronic stress if you have come to a point where you are hopeless, where you cannot see any solution, and actually you stop looking for solution. So anytime you are dealing with an issue and you have now given up, you have come to a point where you're no longer looking for solution, we say you are suffering from chronic stress. Now, this chronic stress is dangerous, my viewer, and you should take measures to ensure that you do not get to that point, because this stress, this chronic stress, first of all, it is brought about by such things as continued poverty. Maybe in your life you have suffered lack for a prolonged period of time. It could also be caused by issues to do with marriage. Maybe in your marriage you have had issues with your wife, with your husband, and for years you have hoped that it will improve, but it has come to a point that it is even becoming worse, and you cannot see any solution in the near future. So that is called chronic stress. And as I've said, chronic stress is dangerous because it is the one that makes things, that creates terminal diseases in our bodies, such as diabetes, high blood pressure, heart attacks, and so on. And ultimately, chronic stress makes you to admire death. It makes death to be a better solution to the problem. You feel like you do not want to live any longer. I pray that my viewer, you not get to chronic stress at any given point of time. So thank you so much for watching. Keep it here in this channel. Ensure you subscribe to this channel. Ensure you like the channel. Ensure you watch. Ensure you leave a comment down there, and make sure that you do not interrupt or you do not skip the adverts that are running down there, so that you also help this channel to grow in terms of the adverts. Thank you so much. Keep it here. In the next episode, I'll be discussing about the effects of stress, and the third episode will discuss on how to manage stress. Thank you and have a great time.